everyone, this is Savannah with Fame Magazine, and I'm sitting down with Nicky Whelan for the upcoming film Crescent City. Nicky, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. How are you?
Very well, thanks, love. How are you?
Great. It's really hot. We're in Miami right now.
Oh, I just left Vegas 2 days ago. It was 115 degrees.
Oh God, I can't deal.
Melting.
No thanks, can't do it. I'm really excited to talk to you about the film. I think the film was super cool. I'm a big fan of like a detective thriller type of film. Could you tell us a little bit more about the detective character you play in Crescent City and what the development like was in playing a character that I feel was a little underestimated in the beginning by her characters? Yes.
Yeah, it's a few people are calling it kind of a 90s vibe thriller, which I love, which RJ, our director, wanted to do. And he's been a friend of mine for 17 years, and we sat down over coffee and spoke about Jacqueline. She's a very complicated, layered character with a lot of trauma, leading her to make some wild decisions out of desperation, out of survival, out of love, all sorts of reasons. And in such a short period of time to shoot the movie as well as the story to really unravel her is complicated because I didn't have a lot of time to really show you who she was, but you can see it in the way that the choices that she makes. And it's interesting to get a vibe of how people feel about Jacqueline. You either love her, hate her, you're on the fence about her, and it is one of those movies, who did what? Who's who, why is that happening, a couple of surprises, which makes the script appealing to do it when the script was given to me and the character. So I think a lot of women would have loved to have played Jacqueline. She's a great fun character to play. I like to keep my heart open as I step onto those sets because I'm working with such great actors who bring an incredible presence to the screen, award-winning, huge actors. They bring so much that half the magic lies within being open to what they're going to bring and allowing some organic stuff to unravel and see where that goes. So there's so many parts when you got to put together when making these movies, and how little magical moments that we try and find in the short period of time we have together. So
Yeah, I enjoyed watching like the trajectory of her character play out. I think she was a special one for sure. I'm curious about the preparation process for like a detective role like this one. Did you face any unique challenges preparing for playing Jacqueline?
we always have a laugh about it. If you want to find something out, just ask a woman. I mean, it only takes us 20 minutes. We're like, I feel like all women are detectives to a certain degree.
Right.
Jacqueline comes in with a lot of complicated past and a lot of pain, which adds layers to her. But I'd come 24-hour turnover from another project straight into Crescent City. I was playing on a comedy set, this wild, drunk, crazy woman, to Jacqueline at 5 a.m. the next morning from Kentucky to Arkansas. I had time to think about Jacqueline, but I had been in another very different frequency to when I arrived the next day. It
Right.
was straight on set with Terrence, first scene up, trying to connect with him, connect with what's happening. So I showed up quite messy. I showed up exactly how Jacqueline should have been. And that's kind of the magic in a lot of these movies and things that happen is I don't over prepare for anything because the truth is I don't know what's happening on a day-to-day basis. I feel a certain way in each of it. When I wake up, I feel a certain way. I like to bring that to the screen. Sometimes some organic, lovely things can unravel when you just show up.
Yeah.
Women, we're on a monthly cycle of our life. We show up differently every day. So that's a woman on camera. That's how we connect with men and everyone's energy and stuff. And if you let things just live a little, some great stuff can come out of that. And also it can be conflicting. So all of it makes interesting movies and TV. So I try to allow that to lead me a lot of the time because that's authentic. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I love it. I love that you pointed out how we're just kind of adapting to our monthly things, our monthly energies, and with the people around us. I think that's like such a good point. And I heard that it's much easier for you to get connected with a character when you're on set versus like in an auditioning space, which I think is natural, right? That makes total sense. Was there any scene in particular in this film when you were playing Jacqueline that helped really like merged you with the character?
Time is one of the greatest things that allows you to understand who you're playing, and unfortunately, we don't get a lot of that with these movies. These are shot in 2.5 weeks. A lot of these movies now, which is
Gosh,
crazy. It used
that's
to be three
crazy.
months, but you're shooting 5 to 15 scenes a day, and you don't even know what's going on. So you have to adapt to pivoting, change, adapt to quick emotions, changing things out. But
Mhm.
after about the third day, I do find myself to be more immersed in the character, knowing more how she would eat and drink. It just sort of comes to you. Because the words come to you, and then you're interacting with someone in that energy space, and then you kind it all sort of comes. That's the magical part of it all, is it sort of just comes together. And if you're acting a certain way in your life, everything around you will reflect that to you. It's the
Sure.
same with camera, you know what I mean? So um, with knowing going in, knowing who Jacqueline is, but then allowing her to develop who she is in the short period of time is a better process for me on these quick turnarounds. And you're working with great actors who bring, Terrence and Isai and Alec, who bring so much to the table. You can go so many places with it, and that elevate you. So, and knowing that that's there as well is super fun.
Yeah, what a fun cast. I can imagine the good times on set. I personally think you're such a queen at action films, but I'm curious to know, is there any genre that you really wanted to explore more?
Thank you for saying that. I started out doing a lot of comedy. I love and I've just come off a comedy. I got to say, I love my comedy. I love doing it. It's like, it's a
Sure.
part of me. I'm quite goofy in real life, but I'm also quite deep too. So I get to go between the two. I have this bizarre career of playing all sorts of things and all
Mhm.
kinds of movies and TV shows. The business has somehow allowed me to be super flexible and versatile and give me opportunities. And I really enjoy all of it. Some stuff is more challenging. Comedy is very difficult, but also so rewarding and so fun. It's fun.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
want to feel fun. You know what I mean? We want to
Sure. Yeah.
feel that. So when there's an opportunity to make a good old comedy, I'll always sign up. I love it.
hmm Um, on the oh my gosh, I had a thought about the comedy thing and completely
Oh, really?
left.
Was it a project that you've seen me do before, or was something from the past? Because when I first started my career, I did a lot of comedy. So
Yeah,
people sometimes think of me as comedy. You know what I mean?
yeah. I feel like I see you more in like action things, but I can imagine. Oh, when you were saying when you were saying that comedy can be difficult, I can imagine because of timing. Like timing is so important. Um, and I mean, you're not only like reading a script, but you have to like there's a lot of reaction going on, and like people have to feel the energy with what's funny and what's not. I don't know. Yeah, so I can
Well, in
imagine.
comedy, you say a joke and you don't have an audience. You've got everyone on set watching, but
Yeah,
no one can laugh because of sound. So
yeah,
you don't know if it landed or
yeah.
not.
You're like, I hope this landed.
I know, but in the last thing I did, I just did a show and I was working with Jake Weber, who's incredible actor, and I said a line and he started laughing and he wasn't supposed to. And I felt so because like it worked.
Yes,
It's like, thank God it worked. You
got him.
don't know
Yeah,
if it's funny. You don't know if you're funny or not. You're trusting the script and then your own weirdness you bring to it. So I don't know. It's you got to keep your heart so open and vulnerable in comedy and just hope for the best. And if you've got a good team of people around you, they will guide you and let you know when when it's funny. You know what I mean?
for sure, absolutely. I think if I'm going to be on any set, I want to be on a comedy set for sure.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Last question for you. Given the theme of this film is like detective thriller, do you have any favorite detective thriller films of yourself?
Oh my
Or-
goodness, so many. Anything from the 90s that you pull out, old classic 90s movies. I love all of them. They're so sexy and cool. And I mean, you put me on the spot and there's like 500 that I like, but I love all, and, anything from the 90s that's thriller, even some great 80s ones too. So when I sit down at night, I'll always, Prime is great for that. You can just, all the old school movies come up. And that's what makes Crescent City so great, is that he's tried to keep it in a 90s theme, which a lot of people are talking about, which I'm glad, because that was one of our goals.